Hello viewers, welcome to this tutorial. Today we're giving a tutorial on how the adult beginners can start to playing the keyboard when they're already at an adult stage. Remember, the adults are a little bit different from the children when they're learning how to play the keyboard, because the adults are indeed busy due to work commitments, a lot of ideas in their minds, and therefore it takes a little bit longer for these adults. I think this is a nature and anatomical arrangement that the little or the young ones tend to take a little bit shorter time for them to develop muscle memory for facts, but the adults take a little bit longer time, coupled with the busy schedule that they have. Therefore, when you want to begin learning how to play the keyboard as an adult, therefore it is important that you take note of the following. I'm actually giving a two-part video on how the adults can begin to play the keyboard. And in this part one, we're focusing on what should an adult start with right away when you want to start playing the keyboard. Remember, you already have advanced ages, and so the first thing you'd want to do is to try and you develop what we call the dexterity in the fingers. I'll explain what this one means, and then the second focus should also be in developing the technique. So at the intro of this video, I was actually doing a little finger exercise. If you remember what I was doing, now that was just a simple finger exercise that I was doing at the intro of this particular video. But as an adult who wants to begin playing the keyboard, the first thing is going to be learning your scale. This tutorial today is in the key of C major for simplicity, because virtually everybody who begins to play the keyboard will tend to start from key C. It is assumed that this key is a little bit simpler. Maybe it's because of the arrangement of the notes, where all the white notes are lying side by side. So when we're beginning to play, the first thing that you have to do is to practice your scale. And I'm talking about the major scale. I'll spell out the C major scale. So when you are an adult beginner, you've got to do that in the right hand, then you do the left hand also. Once the hands are comfortable each, then you can try bringing them together. Now, when you're starting, you'll notice that it's sort of a little bit, the fingers are not cooperating, especially when you want to bring them together. You'll realize that they might not be practicing, maybe one would be lagging behind, but with a little practice, you'll definitely find them now coordinating and just playing the scales. So you'll have to do this major scale. If at all this video is a bit faster, you can slow it down using the video functions there on YouTube, and then you follow it. So you play your scale, each hand's a piece. Now, once you've done the major scale, I normally advise that we do the relative minor. Maybe that could still be difficult, but to comprehend what I mean by relative minor. But this is a scale which is formed from note number 6. If this is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, then when we play the notes you'll realize that we form another scale. That scale is known as the relative minor scale. But the good thing about the relative minor scale is that all the notes are exactly the same with its relative major. The major scale, like we are having the C major scale. When you go to the relative minor, that is on note number 6, which is A. There is a previous video where I talked about how to form the scales. So if you are wondering why I'm just speaking this, I would advise you to check on that my video. I think it is the beginner series, lesson 1. It explains how a major scale is formed. So when you look at the relative minor, the notes are the same, only that they start at a different note. Instead of beginning from number 1, it begins from number 6. Remember, this is number 6, it is A. This is number 6, it is A. So we have once you've done that, you can also try it with both hands. So you have your relative minor scale. So you're going to practice this on this particular key, that is the key of C major. Remember, if you check my channel, you'll find that I've actually broken down all the chords, all the 12 notes. They all are used to form the scales. So in all those 12, there is a series running where we are breaking down all the major scale, all the 12 major scales, starting from C all the way to B. So you can check that. Now, once you've done the major scale here as an adult beginner, and you have mastered it, and you have also done the relative minor scale, you practice that, and you can use the metronome to help you with the rhythm, the timing. That will be useful later on in your play, when you finally play. So we can start at the metronome marking of 60 BPM, that is 60 beats per minute. Then you upgrade it at beats of 5/5, and you practice each speed until you are very comfortable with that. Now the next thing, and that is the final one in this part 1 of this particular series, when you are an adult beginner, is to do the chords. I had done also a video on how to form the chords, but as an adult, the next thing, we are still in key C, is to form the chords. There is a video on how these chords are formed. That's why I'm moving a little bit faster here. So you can check on that video. Then you practice your chords. Remember, I'm demonstrating using both hands, but you start by using each hand a piece until it is comfortable, then the next hand. So in round 1, you are only going to focus on the major chords and also on the minor chords only. So you are only going to do the chords of this scale, and when you do all that until your hands now have mastered and they can easily, without any difficulty on the fingers, play those chords, then it means you are on the right track as an adult. Remember, at this stage, you have not started playing the songs yet, because the songs are played using the chords, and you have to learn the chords and master them well for you to be in a position to play. So if at all you are finding value in this tutorial, please, I would urge you to like this video, share it, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do share. Do subscribe to my channel. You can also comment down there. So in this part 1, we have only looked at the scales, and I've emphasized on the use of the finger exercise to help you develop the dexterity in the finger. And as you practice the scales, you notice you will be developing what we are calling your technique. So take your time. You can replay this video, rewind it over and over, and try to practice your scales, the major scale and the relative minor scale, and you also do your chords. And we are focusing purely here on the diatonic chords. Watch out for part 2 of adult beginners on how to play, so that I explain to you clearly on how to play these chords and how to develop your dexterity and technique very fast as an adult. Remember, at the beginning of this video, I said that adults take relatively a little bit longer. It is because of the nature of their brain to develop the muscle memory compared to children who are also learning the same. But again, the adults have got the advantage that they have a high concentration span, meaning that they can take a longer time, devote their time, and do the piece of work that they are doing very comfortably. So that is all we had in part 1. Please watch out for the next video, where we are doing part 2 of adult beginners on how they can learn the keyboard and how they can learn it very fast. Bye bye. Let's see you in the next video for the beginner adults.